Hey, this is Jamie from the channel Read Brucey, coming to talk about what I'm going to read for the month of August. Hey, got several things to talk about today. As we get started, we all know that August is going to be a crazy month, as it is back to school time for me. So let's start talking about it. So first and foremost, we do have quite a few readathons going on in the month of August. I would like to participate in them. Just how it just boils down to how I'm able to fit them in, right? Because most of my reading will be as I'm commuting back and forth to work, because that's how it goes when I am working. But let's talk about the different readathons. So the main one that will be going on is the Keep Me in Suspense readathon, hosted by Caitlin at the Chronicles of a Book Nerd and Jeanette at Jane Reads. And so here's my TBR for that. Okay, so let's talk about it. Right. So the prompts are, and I will be listing. I will have a copy of the graphic up here. The prompts are: follow the evidence, a law enforcement character, 911 call under 250 pages, partner in crime, a favorite author, case files in a series, a free space, reopen a case, a book that's a reread, means a book you own, motive, a mystery or suspense, opportunity, a book you want to read. Okay, so that's the prompt for that readathon. So here are my pile of possibilities for that readathon. Okay, and I do have some physical copies of some of these books. Some of these I do not. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, so for Follow the Evidence, I have the book Malicious Intent. This is from Lynn H. Blackburn. Okay, I do not have a physical copy of this book. This is book 2 or 3 in the same series. I'm not sure. I'll have to see. I'm not exactly sure what order number this is. I'll put it on the screen. Okay. For under 250 pages, I have Survival in the Mountains, which is a Carrie Stuart Parks book. It's a love-inspired suspense. I do want to get this one read. So I do want to get that one done. Partner in Crime, a favorite author, and I do have Under Fire by Lynn H. Blackburn. That one is one I would like to read there, so we will get that one read. For Case Files, I have in a series, I have Beside the Dead, and that is book 2 from Mary Alford. I read book 1 earlier this year, a couple months ago. I'd like to get to book 2. So that is what I plan for that one. For my free space, I have Fields of Fire by Ryan Steck, I believe is how you say this. This is a book that I have an arc for a book later in the series. So I'd like to read the one ahead of it so I could know what I'm getting into. So definitely this one. And then for a reread, I want to read Unknown Threat by Lynn H. Blackburn, which is book 1 in that same series with Malicious Intent and Under Fire. Okay, so that is those. Okay, so for a book I own, I have Escape from the Everglades. I bought this several years ago and still haven't gotten to it. So that is by Tim Shoemaker. It's a high water novel. I'd like to read that. It's from Focus on the Family. So that is one I would like to get to. Then a motive, a mystery or suspense. I have listed You Are Fatally Invited. Okay. I have You Are Fatally Invited, which I will list there. Of course, that is not a Christian fiction. So to put a Christian fiction in there, I also have The Inklings Detective Agency, a novel. I would like to get to that one as well. So I've got those two. Okay. And then for a book you want to read, I have She Will End This by Collen, Coble, and Rick Acker, which I have an e-arc of that book. Okay. So for that is my pile of possibilities for the Keep Me in Suspense readathon. Okay, so if you want to look at that. Okay, all right, so the second readathon for the month of August is the Prairie Trail Readathon. Okay, from Ande at In Search of Wonder and co-hosted by Alma from Alma Reads. Oh, Lord, I can't even think of her channel name, so forgive me. But we all know Alma and love Alma, so I'll put her channel name up here so we have it. But I am on Team California with Alma. Okay, so we get to earn points. Now, I'm not going to go through and explain. You can view Anne's video or look on her Discord. So that's Anne from In Search of Wonder to really understand how this readathon works. Okay, but I do have a pile of possibilities for that, and I really only have two on there for now. You can earn points if you read books that are set in the West. You can earn more points, but if you read books that are that fit the prompts, you can at least earn 1 point. But you have to at least read one book that is Prairie or Pioneer related. So I do have two books on my TBR, okay, that I would like to get to. The first being On the Banks of Plum Creek, okay, by Laura Ingalls Wilder. And of course that is a fit the prompt, stranger danger, a book about a real person, even though it's not a nonfiction book, it is a book about a real person. That's the other book I already have on my TBR. That is read a nonfiction book, and I do have Pioneer Girl, okay, by Laura Ingalls Wilder as well, but this one is an annotated nonfiction, okay. And so that is the two books I have already on my TBR, or a pile of possibilities, okay, for the Prairie Trails Readathon. Like I said, I don't know how much I will get to participate in this one, and I will show you, but that is the two I currently have on my TBR at the moment. Okay, so then we do have from Christy A. Cole and her co-host, which I will list in the box. We have the Mood Read End of Summer Jam Mood Readathon, okay, which look up Christy A. Cole to get all the information about this. But this is all about fit and prompts. So as I read, I will answer these questions and fit in this one. So this one doesn't really have any specific books that go with it. But if you'd like more information on that, look up Christy A. Cole. I did see from the Bright Side Girl, I did see the randomathon that happens August 10th to the 23rd. And it has some 5 prompts. I may or may not get to participate in this one, but I did write the prompts down and put at least one book, which actually overlaps with the Prairie Trail Readathon, and that has a TV show element made into a TV show, reality TV. Like your favorite TV show has a competition, and of course, I was able to overlap a book from that, and that, of course, is on the banks of Plum Creek because because of the whole Little House on the Prairie TV show. All right. And then the last one is the Revive Readathon, hosted by Keisha and Kay and Katrie. Okay. And this is basically being hosted on Discord, but I still wanted to make a TBR for it just in case. We have 9 prompts: brings you joy, Christian nonfiction, yellow on the cover, biblical retelling, book of the Bible, favorite author, favorite genre, book club pick or host recommendation, and a buddy read. Okay, so all right, so for a book that brings me joy, I'm going to read the book Just Friends by Haley Pham because I really feel like this book will be just a happy, sweet story. For a Christian nonfiction, I'm going to finish reading my book Big Ideas by David Norris. It's a book I've been working on. It's a really big book, or I would have brought it in here, so I'm going to finish that. For a book with yellow on the cover, I'm going to read Fields of Fire. It has a little bit of yellow on the cover. For a biblical retelling, this one's kind of outside the box for this, but it's one I'm working on right now, and I'm loving it so far. I mean, it's definitely not Christian fiction, but it's called Counting Miracles by Nicholas Sparks. Okay, and it's kind of a Job retelling, so interesting enough, that's what I'm working on. So for a book of the Bible, I'm working on a Bible study from a Bible study that was sent to me by sweet Amanda from Book Lover Amanda. It's Even If, so it's on the book of Habakkuk. I'm going to work on that. Okay. And for favorite author, I'm going to work on a series from Lynn H. Blackburn, Unknown Threat. For favorite genre, I'm going to work on Courting Miss Lancaster. So this is book 2 in the Seeking Persephone series by Sarah M. Eden. I know that's not the actual title of the series, but y'all know which series I'm talking about. This is a great series that been recommended many times. So a book club pick or a host rec, I'm going to read You Are Fatally Invited. And then a buddy read, I'm going to read Beside the Dead. And I'm sure I can find somebody to read that too. I'm going to call that my buddy read. All right. So that is everything I have for all the readathons and all the things. So what else do I have on the docket to read this month? That's enough with all the back to school. Of course, I've got my 3 texts that I will be starting the school year with. That will be A Lesson Before Dying, which I don't have in here with me. I should have brought in here. A Life of Pi, and The Great Gatsby. That's the 3 books that we start the school year with. Okay, so A Lesson Before Dying for freshmen, Life of Pi for sophomores, and The Great Gatsby for juniors. So, of course, I will be reading those. Okay. So, let's go down my list to see if there's anything else that I have that I don't have listed. All right. So, some books that I would like to get to. One is for the book club that Keisha and Katrie and Kay are doing, and that is A Bride of Fallen Stars by Victoria McCombs. So I'll put a picture of that up there. This is a fantasy book, clean or Christian. Hers may be mostly clean. I don't remember there being very much Christian content in her books, but I know she is a Christian who writes fantasy. Okay. Then for Chantel's indie book club, the book is Suspended in the Stars by E.A. Hendricks. Okay, so that is a book I'd like to get to. Then I have to get to Caraboss, which I'm on the street team for this book. This is from Lindsay Llewellyn. This is kind of a time travel book, kind of a don't even know how to describe this book exactly. Let's look this one up. Winslet Newbeck knows bugs better than she knows people. The 16-year-old homeschooled etymologist is determined to earn her place among the ancient and dangerous ranks of magical insect hunters. With her father's failing minds pushing them towards bankruptcy, winning the tournament of scarabs becomes her only shot at securing her dream and saving her family from ruin. When she touches a forbidden time scarab before the competition begins, she's left with a mark she can't explain and trips into the past she can't control. Forced to hide her mistake, Winslet enters the tournament with a growing fear of being discovered. As her secret grows, so do her slips through time. Rafe Stormholt charts maps like other people writes diaries, but his own futures isn't his to navigate. He needs the tournament prize to keep his grandfather's company out of treacherous hands. After the preliminaries go awry, Rafe ends up on a team of academic misfits, including the bug girl he's already judged as a liability. But when he's dragged into the past alongside her, Rafe uncovers truth that shatters the faith his family has held for generations. Bound by a time-slipping curse, Winslet and Rafe must navigate the tournament's perilous trials while unraveling a conspiracy buried centuries deep. As enemies close in and past begins to bleed into the present, they'll have to decide what they're willing to fight for and what they're willing to lose to win. Okay? So, this is one I definitely need to get to this month. And I love Lindsay Llewellyn's writing, so that is definitely going to not be a hardship. All right. So then another one I still haven't gotten to is Hunt for Calypso. That's book 2 in Aaron Phillips's trilogy that is a fantastical retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo. Okay. I said earlier I'm working on Counting Miracles, which is a modern day retelling of loosely based on the book of Job. Working on that. Okay. I would like to get to Of Flaw and Scorn by Vera Bell. Again, that's iffy. Just if I get to it, I get to it. Okay. Another book I would ideally like to get to is, of course, When the Day Comes, which I'm doing backwards because I picked it up going the wrong way. So When the Day Comes. Now this would be a reread, of course. Okay. So I would like to get to that. If I get to it, I get to it. One that has been on my TBR is the last book I need to read for Ashley Willingham is Stardust and Silence. This is that gender swap Little Mermaid retelling that's set in space that also has to do with pirates. I would like to get to that. Meant to get to that this month. Didn't, or last month, July, did not get to it. So that's of course what I would like to get to in the month of August. And I know I didn't take the time to give many reading like what each book was about because, you know, long video and all the things. Most of these books are books you're familiar with anyway. A lot of my books have to do with Suspense readathon. Okay, you'll notice most of my books will like cross over. All right, except for the Prairie Trail Readathon, most of these kind of cross over. And I will try to fit in the Prairie Trail Readathon for sure. Would be the Mail Order Baroness by Misty Beller. Okay, this is book 2 in the Lords of the Rockies, so maybe I'll get to that. Who knows? Okay, and then one more that I could possibly get to that wouldn't mind rereading would be book 1 of Lori Wick's The Californian series. Okay, so maybe I could get to that one. And those are all maybes, because as I have stated, August is an extremely busy month for me. Okay, so it's all going to depend on just how much I get done as I'm traveling back and forth to work, because truly that is going to be the only reading time I have, as it is back to school, getting my classroom ready this week and all the things, still working on a yearbook, all the things. So just keep us in your prayers as we go back. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Read Brucey out.